and welcome to my review of Prince Caspian, the fourth book chronologically in the Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis. And as you can see, there may be spoilers for other books, so if you haven't read them, I advise you do. Now, I won't go into every theme in the book. I won't do that. I may do longer reviews of these at a later stage, but at the moment I just want to focus on one or two themes I got from reading the book. And if you find anything else, or if you disagree, please comment below. And regardless of which, let me know what you think of the book series. It's good to share. And hit the like button. And subscribe. And I'll repeat that at the end of the video. But back to the theme, back to the video here. I'll deal with the need to trust in God first. And I will go back to personal responsibility after, because I've covered that in other videos. But in this book, the Pevensies return to Narnia. Lucy, Susan, Edmund, and the High King Peter. And on the journey to meet Caspian, they are waylaid and lose their way a bit. Aslan appears, but only Lucy has the strength of belief to see him. But she doesn't. She kind of convinces herself that maybe it wasn't Aslan. She doesn't have the strength of, or rather, the conviction to follow him. The others cannot see. They believe in their own station. They had been kings and queens of Narnia, and the phrase goes, once a king and queen of Narnia, always a king and queen of Narnia. But their authority came from God. And it's like with anything. If you use your talents or if you use your position without reference to the authority that gave you that, it can go awry and go astray, which they did. Not through any malice, they were looking to do the right thing, but they had forgotten about God, or in this world, Aslan. Now later, Lucy does, Aslan reappears to her, and she runs to him. And Edmund is the first to believe her, even though he does not see, because he realized how badly he'd behaved before, how wrong he'd been, and he trusted in his sister's character. And then he too saw God. It took Peter a short time longer to see, and Susan, and this theme will carry through. Susan is more wrapped up in some of her own issues than trying to accept God. And you know what? There's a lot of Susan's attitude to life that I can see in myself, and this should be a warning to me, and you could use this as a warning to yourself when you read. And it is a good lesson to teach children as you read the book, or explain to children if they ask. Now, once they accept God's help, they make their way pretty rapidly. But he has laid tasks upon them, and they have to complete those tasks, which will lead into... I'll stop here and go back to the personal responsibility, and I'll bring the two back together in the council meeting where Caspian and the Pevensies meet. Caspian was the son of the rightful king of Narnia, well, rightful in the sense that the Telmarines had conquered Narnia and he was their ruler. Caspian's father was murdered by his brother, but while Miraz, his brother, had no heir, he was happy to keep Caspian alive. But once his son was born, Caspian was for the chop, so he escaped. And the Telmarines had told their people that the talking beasts of Narnia no longer existed or were myths. And Caspian found that that wasn't true, and the talking beasts accepted him and recognized him as king. And he may have remained hidden. He was only a child after all. What could he do? But had he remained hidden, his uncle's people would have hunted for him and would have ended up killing the talking beasts, which, as king, Caspian could not allow. It is the true king serves the people within the law and under the authority of God. Caspian does his duty even though he is just a child. And I think many of us think that we're either too young or we don't have enough to make a difference. But God does not lay a burden on your shoulders that is too heavy to bear. And if you need extra help lifting that burden, you will have help, just as Caspian did when he selected his counselors. And he was humble enough to realize, even though he was king, it did not make him all powerful or all wise. So he got his childhood mentor, Dr. Cornelius, and Truffle Hunter to aid him. He also chose Nicobrick to aid him. Nicobrick was not a wise counselor, but he did encourage Caspian to fight, and he was brave. But he turned out not to be the wisest, but herein lies the wisdom of having more than one person whispering in your ear, or helping you, should I say. Dr. Cornelius and Truffle Hunter kept young Caspian steady, and herein the parties realigned. Aslan brought the Pevensies to aid the young prince, or rather the rightful king. But he did not intervene physically in removing Nicobrick from the council, where he had attempted to bring aid himself, ignoring the authority of the king, and try to reject God and raise basically the Antichrist or White Witch to come back and fight against the evil King Miraz. The children had the burden, that is Peter and Edmund, of aiding Caspian, and they did. So this book is marvelous. I don't want to go too much into the story. You can read that and get the themes. These are just one or two themes that I've discussed. And I think you will find a lot more themes, such as mercy. And it's a surprising thing, mercy. Aslan, and this will appear in other books, when Lucy refused to follow, she did wonder what would have happened had she just followed, had she just done the right thing. And Aslan told her, I will not tell you that. Because how difficult would it be if you, refusing God for a while, came back. And if you found out that had you just followed him earlier, greater things would have happened, or horrors may have been avoided. Horrors that would then lay on your shoulders. The guilt would be yours. And Aslan spared her that guilt. I want to thank you for listening to me. I hope you enjoyed it. And please, like I said earlier in this, please like, please comment below, and please subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Oh, and hit the bell and get notifications on any future uploads. I will next be covering the Voyage of the Dawn Treader, and I don't know when that will be out. I think I may need to reread that and just pick up a few themes. But I can probably guess that personal responsibility will rear its head. And it's something none of us are too old or too young to learn. So thank you, and God bless, and see you all again soon.